All right, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a student right now navigating the absolute pressure cooker of board exams, JEE, or NEET, you already know that hard work alone just isn't cutting it anymore. So today, we're diving into a highly actionable progress tracking system designed to help you achieve academic excellence, totally without burning out. We're going to transform that vague idea of studying hard into a precise, data-driven science.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly look at the Indian student reality, break down the four-pillar tracking system, go over daily execution and tracking, discuss the crucial weekly review, and finally, talk about customizing for your goals. Let's just jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the Indian student reality.
Let's do a quick reality check here. You're balancing school, coaching classes, self-study. The syllabus is huge, and I know how hard you're working. Some of you are putting in, 8 to 12 hours a day, but you still feel totally stuck. And we all know why, right? It's the classic just one more reel doom scroll trap. Or maybe you're only studying the subjects you actually enjoy. Relying on this vague feeling of progress without looking at the actual data, it's a one-way ticket to severe burnout and late-night cramming. No thanks.
Now get this, 25 to 50. That is a fascinating piece of data because top coaching centers track 25 to 50 data signals per week for their students. We're talking attendance, watch time, test scores, doubt resolution. Why? Because consistent tracking actually reduces anxiety. It boosts your scores because you catch your weak areas early. So we're going to take this insider secret and essentially build an analytical dashboard for your own self-study at home.
Moving right along to Section 2, the four-pillar tracking system.
Okay, so this isn't just a basic planner. It's a closed-loop system designed for continuous learning. The pillars are super simple. First, you plan your week. Second, you execute the work. Third, you track and log that data. And fourth, honestly, the absolute most important step here, you review that data to adjust your future strategy. It's just a constant cycle of improvement that you can easily run in a physical notebook or an app like Notion.
Everything kicks off with your Sunday evening planning session. Just set aside 30 to 45 minutes to map out your week. But here is the real game changer. You have to shift away from vague intentions and start using SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Just writing down study physics is a huge trap. Instead, writing complete electrostatics notes, solve 50 numericals, and revise formulas gives you a highly specific target you can actually hit. During this planning phase, you really must time block realistically. For example, if you're a Class 10 CBSE student, a balanced syllabus breakdown might look like allocating 10 to 12 hours for maths and 7 to 9 for science, while making sure you don't ignore subjects like social science or English. Just remember to factor in your school time, your coaching, and a completely non-negotiable minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Let's look at Section 3, daily execution and tracking.
Execution is where the rubber meets the road for sure, but tracking is what keeps you on the road. By logging your key metrics daily, you transform that vague delusion of, oh, I studied a lot today, even when half of that time was actually spent staring at a wall, into concrete, actionable data. Don't just track your hours, track your actual output, like questions solved, test accuracy, and doubt resolution. I also highly recommend adding a qualitative metric, like rating your daily focus level from 1 to 10.
This right here is your ideal weekly rhythm. Notice how the tracking is just baked right into your daily habits. But pay really close attention to Wednesday. That quick 10-minute midweek check, it is an absolute lifesaver. It allows you to quickly scan your progress and ask yourself, am I actually on track? Because if you've been slacking on maths, you still have time to course correct on Thursday and Friday before the whole week is lost.
Which brings us to Section 4, the crucial weekly review.
So we arrive at Friday evening or Saturday morning. You want to dedicate about 45 to 60 minutes to this because productivity experts call this the absolute magic of the whole system. We use the plus, minus, next framework. First, celebrate your plus, your wins, your mastered topics, your consistent habits. Then, analyze the minus. Did you miss your targets because your phone distracted you? Be honest with yourself. Finally, the next. Take those lessons and adjust your goals to actively strengthen your weak areas for the upcoming week.
And finally, Section 5. Customizing for your goals.
Look, every student's battlefield is completely different, right? So your tracking system has to be tailored to your specific exams. If you're a Class 10 board student, your metrics should heavily feature things like concept clarity, map work, and writing formats.
Conversely, if you're a Class 12 student or a JEE or NEET aspirant, you absolutely must rigorously track your speed, your accuracy, your previous year question analysis, and those week-to-week changes in your mock test scores.
Now, as you build out your own dashboard, please be incredibly careful to avoid these common pitfalls. The absolute fastest way to abandon this entire system is by creating an overambitious plan that completely demotivates you by Tuesday. Remember, progress is infinitely more important than perfection. Don't skip your weekly reviews, and whatever you do, literally never sacrifice your sleep schedule just to check off a box.
So why go through all this effort? Well, because the data doesn't lie. Students who actually implement this systematic review process report a massive 15 to 30% improvement in their retention and test scores. By regularly analyzing your efficiency, you completely eliminate that dreaded last-minute exam panic. You walk into the exam hall knowing exactly what your strengths are, and you're fully confident that you've systematically targeted your weaknesses.
I really hope this explainer has empowered you to take back control of your studies. It is time to stop guessing and start tracking. So ask yourself this: if consistency compounds, what will your data reveal about your future success? Start planning, executing, tracking, and reviewing today, because those small, consistent weekly wins will undeniably lead to massive yearly success. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.